Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Off Script, the most authentic podcast in the world. You're here today with Mr. Anonymous, aka Anon.
Mr. Rook, not Crook.
And don't forget, Mr. Rush, always the last in the line.
Okay, so let's start today. One of my South African friends invited me to his house. So I went to his house. He gave me breakfast. He said, this is authentic South African breakfast with some sausages and some sausages that he brought from South Africa. I mean, when I first had the first bite, it was one of the most disgusting things I've ever had. Honestly, like, I used to think, I'm not going to mention certain countries, I don't want to offend some people. I used to think they had the worst food. But now I am going to mention it. South Africa does really have the worst breakfast ever. Mr. Rook, I'm pretty sure you had very strong views on that too.
Definitely, but I would like to counter instead of agree with you. So I'm just going to wait for Mr. Rush to talk away South African food, let him defend his case, and then I'm going to counter instead. Instead of agreeing.
What do you think? I think your sausages truly suck.
I think food is subjective.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
He's going to go to philosophy. We're not going to
if
get
you're
the
not
answer that we
used-
want.
If you're not used to certain food, you end up having different opinions about it.
You,
If you're used to certain kind of food, you will have also maybe you'll be more.
But if majority of the people say this food sucks,
because
Yeah.
but after I ate it, I went into Google quickly, and I typed. I said, "What's wrong with South African breakfast?"
So what is the tata? The tata?
That's me typing, quick, so the host doesn't see me because
Yeah.
of course I had to tell him. Yeah,
I
it's
thought it was part of the breakfast. Maybe
See-
the sausage as you eat, they go ta ta ta.
I wish it did that. It was
Yeah.
just stale. So I'm typing, and I said, "What's wrong with South African breakfast?" And everyone was complaining. Like there was a forum. Everyone was saying, "Hey, how can they eat this?
Yeah.
Like this is not a sausage."
Yeah, I think that's your opinion. That's your subjective judgment on what you have eaten. But one of the best sausages in the whole world is coming from down under in Africa. Yeah.
Subjective.
that's also
Yes.
subjective.
So-
We're
That's also
fine.
subjective,
Subjective is
yeah.
subjective.
Yeah.
The reason I mentioned South African and their breakfast, it was more about it wasn't so much about the breakfast.
Let me put it this way.
Yeah.
So you get invited
Yeah.
by 1 out of 62 million South Africans
Yeah.
who offer you sausage that he claimed come from South Africa,
Yeah.
and you ate it,
Yeah.
and you use that
To judge the
to
whole nation.
justify the opinions of others, or to create a narrative that
No.
was the worst.
I can
that
let
you
me
have.
refresh the memory,
Yeah.
Mr. Anon. Because when we were sitting down, we were together. So when we were sitting down, we were told, I make one of the best
Authentic South African breakfast.
as I have been told by others.
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure the others were South Africans back when he was in his own home country, when he was making breakfast for his friends, for his family. They were told,
And they
"Whoa."
loved it. They loved it.
They said, this is the best.
And also online, it's not just me. Why is everyone online talking about South Africa has one of the worst breakfasts?
Yeah, so
in the world?
let me continue with my arguments.
Yeah.
So you're invited by this guy. He offer you sausage.
Mm-hmm.
Did he offer you all type of sausages? Because there are so many types of sausages. If it's just one type of sausage, then how do you get to qualify to give your subjective view on the sauces? You know the variety of sausages that are available over there?
Mr. Rush, let me
Yeah.
ask you this question. Are you upset? Are you angry?
No, I'm not angry. You have to work so hard to make me angry.
Because you're getting emotional.
No, you have to get so hard.
He's emotional, right? All right. So today's topic is human emotions. That's what we're going to talk about today. As Mr. Rush is extremely emotional, I didn't have the South African breakfast. I was just playing with you. I haven't had the authentic sausages.
I could smell somebody's telling lies.
Yeah, but you still got emotional.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you were defending South Africa with all your might. We have the breast sausages. 62 million people have to cook for you to judge up.
I was
Come on,
trying
man.
to be reasonable.
All right. So let's talk about human emotions.
All right.
What is the strongest human emotion?
That's a deep question.
What is an emotion? Before we get into what
is it a chemical reaction? What are human emotions? Mr. Rush, do you want to elaborate?
What is a human emotion?
I think that's an expression of human feelings, which is deep situated in his hormonal reaction and coordination and environment and you name it. So these combo or these coordination of all of that can bring about some expression which a human aim to communicate with others.
Man, we need the scientists. We need the scientists to decode what he
Mr.
just
Rook
said.
is now going to explain to the audience in simple English
I have no idea what he said.
What Mr. Rush just said. What did he say?
I don't know. I don't know what he said, man.
Something about human expressions.
It's all about human expressions and how they feel from within.
Just like he was feeling upset when we said South Africa has the worst breakfast.
Indeed.
Okay.
Because he was angry. He said, I've never invited this guy to come over for breakfast. So who are his other South African friends?
Why
so he was also jealousy.
Yeah.
There was part of jealousy, protection.
So there were multiple human emotions
he's like,
taking
what?
effect.
Exactly, at the same time. But
So, Mr. Rush, just explain it to us simply. What are human emotions? In just a few words for our
in
audience.
10 seconds.
In 10 seconds?
In 10 seconds.
What are some human
I
emotions?
think it's a form of communication
Okay.
where a human being try to interact with other human being. And it's a part of trying to be normal because the body or the inner self of somebody is shifted in a way that he can't process things at that moment. So to fight back and get that
was longer than 10
that
seconds.
normal, all right.
I'm just going to cut you.
Kind of.
Do you think emotions come from the heart or does it come from the brain? Because some people say, as Mr. Anon said, it's a chemical reaction. So we know that comes from the brain. But do you believe that it comes from the heart or the brain? Where do emotions or where do the stronger emotions come from?
I don't know, to be honest. 'Cause-
Imagine your 5 or 10-year-old kid is asking you this.
Your brain can't function without your heart. So if you
and the heart can't function without the brain. So even the feeling you
what's
get
the
here.
point? What's the point of separating them?
Yeah,
and ask where they come from, here or there.
But we're talking about human emotions. Are we born with human emotions or do we develop them further? I mean, I'm pretty sure when Mr. Rook was born, the nurse smacked him in the butt, and he started crying. Wah, wah. Where did he get this emotion from? He wasn't taught this in the womb. Where fear, for example, if you clap really loud, a baby would blink. No one taught that baby how to blink. So that fear, that instinctive fear that a baby has, where does that come from? Are we born with certain emotions or do we develop them further?
I think we have hormones in our body that deals with different kind of emotion. So these hormones, they can either be developed to a certain point, or they can be suppressed. Like for example, in some African culture, a man is not supposed to cry.
So you can't cry.
Real men don't cry.
What about tears of happiness or tears of joy?
I'm saying in some. I'm not saying African culture.
I think majority of the cultures, Asian
I
cultures.
also grew up believing that if I cry, I show the weakness.
Okay, so you used to go back to your bedroom, close all the doors and the light, and then stop crying?
No, not that way. I only believe that I could cry in a place where nobody see me, But it doesn't mean to be closing the door. Could be anywhere. Could be somewhere where nobody is. I'm alone.
Yeah.
So I think...
they say if you cry in the rain, no one can really tell if you're crying. So you could have done that too. But I'm pretty sure
Then
you
just
don't
look
get
like
much rain in Africa, right? Some people, because I read somewhere they said it doesn't rain in Africa. So
it doesn't rain, it pours.
Even better. So you could go, all the tears can be coming. You
just look very high. You just, when you got red eyes, you look very high in the rain.
So again, like these emotions.
Yeah.
So some of it we're born with it, right? Like fear.
Yeah.
What about love? Are we born with love? Does a baby love its mother when it's born, or?
I think you are taught to hate. And you can also be taught to love.
So you're not born with love.
You are loved so that you can express love to others. It's like domino effect. If you're being loved, you keep that in your heart, mind, and soul. And you're able to exemplify love to others.
So you're not born with love. Is that what we're saying? Love is not a primary emotion. It's a secondary emotion that one that we develop later on as we grow. Is that what you're trying to say?
I think your next question will be then, what is love?
That I'm going to say for later. But my first initial question from both of you was, what is the strongest human emotion?
Love and fear.
Love and fear. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well,
nice.
let's take a side. I'll go with fear. What do you take? Do you think love is stronger than fear, or is fear stronger than love?
I think it depends on the human situation.
But what about you, Mr.
Time-
What do you?
So yesterday, I just got a little story because you mentioned Faye. Yesterday we were at the cameraman's house. Shout out to him. We had nice food at his
Shout
house.
out to his
It was
beautiful
nice,
biryani that he cooked.
Yes, it was
It was
beautiful.
a bit spicy, but it was very nice.
Yeah.
Was it better, Mr. Cameraman? Was it better than the restaurant food, or was it?
Of course.
It was definitely better than the rest.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we were at his house, and mashallah, he has 2 beautiful children, and he's just got a newborn. She's about 2-3 months old at the moment.
Come to the point.
I'm coming to the point, man. I'm speaking like you. I'm speaking to you like you.
Yeah. Come to
Okay,
the point.
so
Come to the point.
when it was a daughter, 2 months, 3 months, and as we were clapping or making noise, or the son who's around 2.5 years old, he was running around every time he would come close. The only emotion or the only expression we will see from that 2 month was the fear. Whenever someone would come close, whenever someone would clap,
Yeah, she would.
she would react. And I saw the love that she had for the father as he was holding her there. I think it knew love because of the parents.
I see. So you're saying a kid is born with love and fear.
I think love is developed at a very early stage, but fear is always there.
So you're born with it.
Yeah, because I think a baby, 2-3 months, if it's not treated well, I don't think it will have that connection. That love. But I think the fear will always be there.
Yeah. So I believe fear to be the strongest human emotion.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
This is the side that I'm on. So it's gonna be me versus you, or me and Mr. Rook versus you now. So you claim love to be the stronger emotion. I'm claiming that fear is the stronger human emotion because
I'm
you're
just
born
an
with
observer.
it.
I'm just
You're
an
born with
observer.
it.
Yeah, but he spoke about the baby that he saw yesterday at Miss Cameraman.
At the cameraman's house.
Right.
Yeah.
But human development, human brain development
Starts.
has got stages.
Yeah.
So when a child is in mama's womb, there's always expectation, or there's a permanent supply of nutrients.
Okay.
So the child doesn't have develop fear at that particular stage.
Yeah.
When the child comes out of mama's womb, then there is a fear, or it depends how the child is gonna be raised. But different stage of human development,
Yeah.
according to Erickson, has got different way of how to. There's a different level of how the brain development, and that can be affected
Sure.
by how the environment
I know.
the child finds it.
But I'm claiming that fear is instinctive. You have it to begin with. Like, it's something that we have. It's instinctive. Like, if you clap, a baby will close its eyes. It's a reflex.
Right.
That is instinctive. That's built in.
Maybe because nobody clapped when she was in mama's womb.
No, she could hear stuff. That's why when a baby
He
kicks
or
or
she could hear, in the mama's womb. That's why, some people, they go to the tummy and they start speaking to the baby.
Really?
Yeah, or they put the A there, and when certain noises that the baby
Starts
hears
kicking,
will
boom.
start kicking.
If you got a baby that's good at kickboxing, it will start,
And if you look at
punching and
the
kicking.
cameraman, he's nodding. If you look at the cameraman,
Yeah,
he's nodding.
Yeah, so
So it's his recent.
So what language do you speak to a child?
I mean,
Child language or what?
that I don't know. I haven't experienced that yet, but I know some people.
So where did you experience your ex-wife? Where did you experience the communication with her?
Don't get me in trouble, please. Don't get me in trouble. Yeah.
Right? No. Where did you experience this child language?
I've seen other people do it. Anon TV, there's
And
documentaries.
And there's a lot of people that have
let's not talk
spoken about
movies.
this.
Movies are not real. Come on.
No. Where did you experience this?
Documentaries.
Documentary.
Yeah,
Yeah,
monkeys do
you
it.
know.
Monkeys do it to each other.
I don't think monkeys do that, but yeah. So back to the human emotion.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned love. I can tell you what fear is, but how about you tell me what love is before we even argue? Because I can tell you what fear is. You're something you're born with, instinctive, something that gives you a flight or a fight response.
Yeah.
From a baby all the way to an adult, you have this within you. But love, as you mentioned, it becomes deeper and deeper as you
grow,
as you develop and as you grow. So what is love?
I think there's a love in public, and there's a love in private.
Now we're talking about love. We're talking about love in general.
Before we talk about romance and public and private, what is love? Is it a chemical reaction? Is it oxytocin, serotonin? What is it? Just a chemical reaction? We're not going into that.
That's what I'm saying. Different people have differentiate.
I think
different people have come up with a different definition of love.
So there's not a universal definition of love.
There are definitions that have reduced love based on the perspective of others who have defined love.
Okay.
Yeah, there are those who say love is learning how to die in order to learn how to live.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
He's been saying that for 5 years. I don't know what that means.
Break that down for the audience, please.
So
love is...
Give us a story. Give us an example of what you mean.
So like if we look at the freedom fighters like Malcolm X, he gave himself up to save others. He had so much love. And we talk about traditional love now.
Okay.
Love your daddy, love your mother, love your sister. He gave up so much to those everyday people, right?
Okay.
Yeah, he gave so much to them.
So he sacrificed.
He allowed himself to reformed. So love is a form of reform as well.
Okay. And there are different types of love, right? You have romantic love, familial love, love that you have for your relatives, for your family.
That's traditional love.
Yeah.
And then you have love that has been matured.
Okay, what about...
love that spill over. Then you love your enemy. You love those who don't look like you.
No, I don't love my enemies because they don't love me.
You should change.
You're a selfish
once
lover.
You become mature,
lover.
you'll learn the only time you can change a person that hates you is to...
But I don't want to change that person.
So you have to be selfless to love. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly.
But isn't a form of love to be selfish? Is to love certain individuals only, prioritize certain individuals
more than others.
So some forms of love are very selfish. So how can you have this barrier of selflessness and selfishness? How can you balance it?
Yeah.
When there is a constant war, for example, I'll give you an example. If I'm in a boat and a boat sinks and there is my son in there and there is someone else's son in there, I am 1,000 out of 1,000 times I'm gonna go in to save my son. This is me being selfish. Why? Because that's my son. That's my biological offspring. I have familiar love for him. So I will save him. So here I'm being selfish. Where the love you're talking about, this is being selfless.
That's why I say there are stages of love. You begin from traditional love, where you love your mother, your daughter, your son, your auntie, and then the love reach to a point where it spill over.
You've got too much love, so it's spilling over.
So if you were in that position,
you become a millionaire.
Mr. Rush, so if you were in that position that you can own this, so there's someone else's kid and your own kid. So if someone's love is overspilling, he can only save one. He would pick the random kid and sacrifice his own kid. Because that's what it means to be selfless in your time.
I think we talk about we as a human being or professional paramedic.
No. I'm talking about you as an individual.
So you think there's the human element that stops certain things. So if you're a paramedic, that's an interesting point. If you're a paramedic and your son is injured and someone else's son is injured, who do you prioritize?
Who can easily be rescued? I think that's also very important.
Yeah, of course. Who can be rescued? Yeah.
Because sometimes your daughter or your son, whoever, is far. But you have somebody that's closer to you.
Yeah.
Or your child is critically injured.
Yes.
The chances of survival are very low, whereas in someone else, they have a higher chance of survival.
But then there's other elements that adds to the story. I'm talking about they're both the same. You guys can, because the conscious mind, you can lie to it or you can tell it, the reason I done this is because of this, that. Yeah. So you can sleep at night telling yourself this. But what if there's nothing to tell?
So it's
So
similar situation.
It's a similar
yeah.
situation. How do you pick one over the other? Because it's actually so true the way you mentioned it. One is selfish love, one is selfless. The part that I was a bit confused about, that he is mentioning it in stages.
Yeah.
But we shouldn't look at it in terms of stages.
when
Because if you look at stages, it means that your love is increasing and increasing and increasing.
Yeah.
But that means you don't love your son enough
Yeah.
No,
to save him.
That's not what love does not increase by giving. It's not a numerical value. If I have 100 and I give 20, I'm left with 80.
80 love.
No.
No, but the way you mentioned it in stages is that
No, I
usually
say, where do we begin love? That's what I say. It starts from your tradition.
Okay.
It's love.
And where does it go to? Where does it lead?
So
loving your enemies.
The more you sacrifice, the more you allow yourself to deal with social ills like selfishness, like judgment, or like
Racism,
all that build up you to have so much love. And the only thing you can do is to pass that love to others, even if they
But you know, there's another thing. People sometimes love do things for others. Being selfless is because that's the only thing they can do. That's the only way they can sleep. Wouldn't that be also selfish? Because it's for their own sanity.
They're not doing it
For the sake of love, they're doing it. How do we
to make
differentiate?
themselves feel better.
Exactly.
Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
that's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
How do we differentiate between that?
between true love and
Yes. Because once you start...
I mean, we wouldn't have a tool. I mean, we don't really have a tool to
We don't
go
have a
around
tool.
and go
Nah,
and
we
it says
can't.
real love, fake, love, little bit of love, too much love. I mean, the only thing we can see are the effects of love, actually. I can claim that I love you, but you will only see that through the effects, what
For the
I do
action,
for you,
for the actions.
So you were mentioning that love is developed as we go along.
yes,
It's developed into the stages. I want to go to the opposite direction. Can love decrease to the level where there is no love left and it turns into something else, another emotion, hatred, envy?
Yeah.
So if love can develop upwards, and we know whatever goes up can also go down. So can love turn into another emotion?
Yeah. Like you can be taught to hate at a very young age.
But can
So
love...
Rash, can you come towards this way a bit, man? Come this way a bit.
You can be taught to hate.
The cameraman has
I
been
mean, you guys
screaming.
need to show love to each other, like you're so far apart.
Man, the cameraman has been waving for like the past 10 minutes.
Yeah, many social ills that we have are originated from hate.
Okay.
So you can be taught how to hate. You hate people based on different things. Can be race, can be nationality, it can be tribe.
So hate is taught.
Yeah.
You're not born with hate.
You're not born with hate. There was an experiment that was done
Yeah.
where the kids, I think somewhere, can't remember the place, where the kids were left on their own and they were given some toys.
Yeah, I've seen that similar one.
Yeah. And
To not see color.
Yeah.
yeah. And they couldn't see each other's as a different human race. They saw each other as one human race. And they look at each other past the race codes.
I see. And
Even they were able to share things that those who didn't have enough toys, they're able to get those who have more than one.
more than one, yeah.
So what does it teach us? Is it
Hate is taught. Hate, you're not born with hate.
But I
No,
think
you're not
even
born
love
with
is taught by the parents to learning to share. Not every kid is willing to share its
Again,
toys.
I follow the opinion that love is a secondary emotions, something that we develop as we go along. So the primary emotions would be fear, for example, something that you're born with. It's instinctive.
Okay.
Where love is something that you're taught. And you can start very low, but as you grow up, I do agree with Mr. Rush's point for once, that as you go along, because we're here to be, the good guy and the bad guy, or the good guy and the bad guy. For once.
you agree with me?
Yeah.
That's progress. That's also part of love.
So as we grow, and we meet different people and we experience different things, our love increases or it develops. I wouldn't say it develops.
Yeah.
And love can increase. I'll give you a good example, guys.
Go ahead, mate.
Go home and don't say nothing to your wives. Don't say anything good. Don't give her a compliment. Don't buy her a gift. And watch how she reacts. Then the next day, buy her a gift. Tell her she looks good and see how she treats you then. Her love for you increases. based on what you do, what you say to her, or what you do for her. So love, it's not something that's finite, or it's not quantitative. You can't measure love like that. But love does increase and decrease.
Yeah.
It does increase. You can see the effects.
Yeah.
So the question is, was the love already there to begin with? And people are just showing you parts of the love, or does it actually increase?
You spoke about buying something for your loved one. In fact, giving anyone gift, it
Increases love and
yes.
the social bonds.
Social bond, helping hand, that's also increased, because helping hand is part of the gift. Being nice to each other, that's increased love.
Yeah.
Care for each other, increased love. So these are all elements that if you add them all together, you create the love that spill over.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
And also, one of the most important things is sacrifice. We mentioned sacrifice with love. Logically, the part of the brain that's involved with logic and reasoning, sometimes love overrides that. Sometimes we make decisions that logically don't make sense. For example, some people will sacrifice their own lives to save their loved ones. Logically, that wouldn't make sense.
Too many studies have been done over this.
Yeah.
So it all depends on the person. So the wife, the mother will only sacrifice for the kids, and it's only boys, the majority. The man will sacrifice for the family, for the friends. So every person makes certain sacrifices for the other person.
Okay.
So it's not fixed where
But
everyone...
is it a logical sacrifice? Does it make sense logically? Or is love something that goes way above, it transcends logic? It goes way above logic. Because certain decisions we make in love, it doesn't make logical sense.
Of course.
So love can override that emotion. So that's why it is.
By the way, that's why people say the love comes from the heart, because it has nothing to do with the brain and the logic and the thinking.
Yeah.
We do it selflessly.
But I think these people that say love comes from the heart, they haven't really studied biology well. They think the heart is it's got its own mind, the brain is a different organ. Yeah, but we understand.
Yeah, but I'm not trying to get into the...
I'm just trying to be the bad guy here.
Yeah, no, it's cool. We need someone to hate.
So look, my whole point was that fear is stronger. We talked about love for God knows how many minutes.
Yes.
Let me just break it down to fear. When it comes to fear, you forget everything and everyone. Fear can literally make you freeze. We have the flight response. So I'll give you a story. When I was 5 years old, me and my brother were playing in the fields. And in the distance, I could hear screaming. Someone was saying, "Get out of the way, get out of the way." Now, my brother was 7 at that time. A bit more mature, a bit more smarter. And when I looked to the left, there was this massive bull with the 2 big horns running at me. I froze. I couldn't move at all. I just froze. I forgot everything. I could hear the screaming, but I wasn't processing it. All I could see was this massive beast running at me. And I looked back once.
Where was that?
I'm not going to disclose that information because, I'm Mr. Anonymous.
Yeah.
Privacy is my crown, so I'm just going to keep it there.
Go ahead.
So I turned around and I see my brother running full speed. Next thing I know, all I saw was black. Now, please don't say that I'm associating the color black with something negative. It's just what I saw. My eyes closed and all I saw was black. I didn't see white, in case you say, everything negative is to do with black. But I saw black. And I woke up like a few...
It's too late now.
It's too late? Okay. So I saw black. I saw darkness. And when I woke up, there were bandages around me. I was in a hospital. It was a miracle that I survived, but I had my skull was open from one side to the other side.
Is that why you wear a mask?
I mean, that's why I wear a mask. I have a lot of scars, so I'm hiding those scars. But so in that situation, I totally forgot all the other human emotions that could have been there or any human response. I just froze. So for me, that emotion of fear was the strongest, the most overpowering emotion that I've ever felt. I haven't felt like that ever.
So was it the bull attack that resulted in your skull to be open, or what was it?
Yeah, of course.
Of course it was that. Yeah, of course.
No, maybe it fell.
No, but obviously both of them, the impact
it did hit me and I flew and then my head hit the rock.
Yeah.
and it opened like a watermelon. And the bull was slaughtered afterwards. I mean, the whole family enjoyed eating the bull, and they slaughtered it. As
And did you eat the meat from it?
I think I was too sick to eat the meat.
Or did you?
I wish I did it. If I could go back in time, I'll eat it. I'll barbecue it.
Yeah.
But
Were you angry of the
I mean,
animal's meat?
I don't think he cared when he's a 5-year-old that's stuck in hospital.
Like eat it with anger.
I'm eating you now. Nah, it was.
I'm gonna eat you up.
I mean that's what it was. So for me, I believe fear to be the stronger emotion. So before we end it, with a TKO, do you think love is stronger than fear?
Let the viewers decide that.
Please comment. Love or fear in the comment section.
Yes.
We need to know what is the stronger emotion.
I think naturally it would be fear if we leave both emotions to run its course.
Now let the viewer
no.
decide.
But just my opinion. I can say my opinion, and I've got to defend it.
He's gonna get in trouble.
No, this guy talk too much.
If he doesn't mention love, he's gonna get in trouble at home. So
Exactly. Come on, man.
Oh, he used the podcast.
He used to send a message. Yeah. So please.
No, I don't think. So basically, fear can also be. When we're talking about kids, you can actually train a kid to us until a certain age not to feel that fear. So there are fighters that have this thing. So maybe your brother at 7 he had already developed to run away.
Yeah.
Maybe with the upbringing there was something different that happened with him than you.
Yeah.
So I think fear is something that can be worked on. The same with love.
What
so
about
I think
phobias?
there's different stages.
What about phobias? Some people never get rid of their phobias. That's also extreme fear.
But those are extreme cases of certain fears. But we could say the love as well. There's certain loves, like a mum will be able to lift a boulder, or they can, if a car is coming, instead of fight, she runs in front of the car and picks up the son.
Yeah.
So those are extreme cases. But generally, I agree with you that fear is the strongest emotion. However, it can be worked on.
Yeah,
because I had a recent conversation about this with raising kids. Yeah. And we will lead up to another day.
Mr. Rook.
Does he have kids, this guy?
I mean,
I'm not gonna. Last time we checked, he had no kids,
No, but before the kid is born, you should do all this research.
This is a prime example of how fear is stronger than love. Ask me why.
Why?
His fear of his missus back home. Not talking about love. So that fear has made him switch positions. He's jumped boat from my side to your side now.
I'm still saying fear is the strongest emotion. I'm saying that we can work on it.
All right, but we'll let the viewers decide.
Of course, for sure.
What is the stronger human emotion? Is it love or fear? And one of the donuts might write hunger, because when they're hungry, not really an emotion.
It takes over.
It takes over.
Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to likes.
Oh, hold on.
Wait.
Let's do the final check. Stop. Yeah, ready?